Hello, friends, and thank you as always for visiting the Legend Sports Universe YouTube channel, Legend Sports Universe, where legends play forever. This is the Franchise Stars Football League preseason tournament for the upcoming FSFL mod I will be releasing from Madden 24. This matchup features the Kansas City Chiefs heading into Miami to visit the Miami Dolphins. The Chiefs, a very strong draw for their year one roster. The Dolphins, not so much. Chiefs favored here by a touchdown. The Dolphins are going to need what should be a decent defense to hold the Chiefs at bay. That's going to be easier said than done. Chiefs and Dolphins coming up from Miami. You see the Chiefs. The Chiefs' question mark is their quarterback, Steve DeBerg. Can DeBerg play an efficient, controlled enough offense, avoid the mistakes to keep the Chiefs on course, as they do have the talent to be one of the top teams in the league once the FSFL gets going. Again, as I've mentioned in previous broadcasts, to get the custom playbooks I've created to hold in this game, I have to do the opening kickoff and the first play from scrimmage, at least call the plays. A wonderful EA glitch, but it does work. So the opening kickoff will be downed in the end zone. The Dolphins will start out from the 25-yard line with Tua Tagovailoa as the starting quarterback. You can ignore those stats as they are irrelevant. Tagovailoa gets a little bit hurt with the formula of how I do things here because he doesn't have much experience. He's getting better as his career goes on. But it's basically the top 3 years of a guy's career, and this current season Tagovailoa is having isn't going to count towards that because I developed the ratings beforehand. So he gets a little bit hurt. Trevor Lawrence is going to deal with the same kind of deal as Mercury Morris. Picks up a 13-yard gain on the opening carry. Now we can move things back into the center and call the rest of this game in the more conventional fashion. Big Clue has joined us. How are you, Clue? Good to see you, my friend. I hope all is well with you, sir. So again, if you're new to the project, first of all, thank you for tuning in. The Franchise Stars Football League concept is a variation of your standard all-time Legends Franchise Star sets. Every franchise has a master pool of 130 players. 50 were taken at random to be on the year one roster. The remaining 80 players will all join the FSFL through the rookie draft in subsequent years. So, for example, Dan Marino and Len Dawson will ultimately end up with the Dolphins and the Chiefs. They just aren't there from the start. That kind of setup allows for the league to have staying power. It allows it to be run as a career mode kind of setup rather than just a single one-off season of Legends. And it's gonna create some storylines, some interesting situations. Players will be assigned contracts based on the number of years that they were with a team, so you will have free agency considerations as well. So I'm very much looking forward to this as Tagovailoa takes off there. He'll get the first down marker out across midfield down into Kansas City territory. 10-yard scramble for Tagovailoa to get the first down. Heads up play there. The Chiefs have a very solid defense, a solid offense as well. Again, their question mark really is DeBerg. If DeBerg plays well, the Chiefs are going to be just fine. For now, it's the Dolphins with the ball. Handoff, Morris jukes out to the outside. Mercury Morris down inside the 30, inside the 25, breaks a tackle down inside the 15. He'll be brought down at the 13. So Mercury Morris running strong here to get things going in this one. Again, the Dolphins heavy underdogs in this matchup. But if Mercury Morris can have a strong game, that'll go a long way towards the Dolphins being able to hang with Kansas City. Strong run there from Morris. So now the Dolphins threatening here on this opening drive, down to the Kansas City 13. Tagovailoa drops back. He's looking, swings it wide. There's Morris out of the backfield. Good tackle from Derek Thomas out in the open field. It's a pickup of 3. and it'll be 2nd and 7. I don't know if I'll pronounce it right, but I'll pronounce it 3 times fast, Clue. 2nd and 7 for the Dolphins. Tagovailoa drops back. Couple steps, swings, throws to the right-hand side. It's complete. Not much doing there. It's only a 1-yard pickup. Tight end Keith Jackson. Jackson, the strongest receiver on this Miami team, which got just a brutal draw in their opening year draw at wide receiver. Aranda Gadsden, probably the best of their receivers. No Mark Duper, no Mark Clayton, no O.J. McDuffie. So the Dolphins are going to kind of have to piece it together offensively. Their defense could be decent. I just don't think the Dolphins are going to score a heck of a lot of runs. Good count coverage there. Tagovailoa tries to get wide. Jerry Mays brings him down. That'll be a sack for a loss of 1. And the Dolphins, after, in the words of Hank Stram, matriculating the ball down the field on the opening drive, are going to have to settle for a field goal attempt. 26-yard kick coming up for Garo Yepremian. Kick is up and good. So the Dolphins do get on the board here on this initial drive. Mercury Morris doing his part. A nice scramble from Tagovailoa as well gets Miami down the field. And now Andy Reid's Kansas City Chiefs will get the ball for the first time. Again, I can't edit coach appearances until I actually get into the franchise mode when the project is completed. Each franchise is also being assigned a coach from their history, chosen at random. Basically, every coach has point values assigned. Any coach who took their franchise to the postseason is eligible. And then from there, a random generator based on kind of weighted on how much success a coach had. So like Don Shula had the overwhelming numbers to be the Miami coach, and he ultimately is. Andy Reid ends up as the coach of the Chiefs. And I'm creating playbooks for each of these franchises if it's not a current coach. So Andy Reid will use the Andy Reid playbook that's in the game because he's still coaching. But for any coach who's not in the game, I have devised a method to take the playbooks, the game plans from Action PC football, and develop playbooks based on the numbers in Action PC to create a proper playbook for those teams. So you're going to see these Dolphins are going to play like Don Shula's 70s Dolphins. They're going to run the ball quite a bit. And I'll be doing those playbooks for all the teams as well. As a handoff there to Priest Holmes, brought down by Zach Thomas, but he picks up 5 on the opening carry. 2nd and 5 for the Chiefs from the 26. 007, how are you, my friend? No Mahomes. No Mahomes. Mahomes is in the pool, but he was not taken for year 1. As I was mentioning earlier, the Chiefs' real question mark here, they got a very good draw. Their question mark is Steve DeBerg. If Steve DeBerg can play an efficient game at quarterback, the Chiefs are going to do well. You know, DeBerg was a solid backup, but it seemed like every time DeBerg became a starter, his kind of weaknesses were exposed. So the Chiefs are going to hope that DeBerg's weaknesses won't get exposed here. Swings to the left, complete. Oh, missed tackle there in the open field. Priest Holmes with the reception. So they're going to Holmes a lot on this opening drive. 15-yard pickup there out to the 47. DeBerg actually threw that ball a little bit wide. Made the tackle. Looks like John Offerdahl is the one who missed that tackle. Louis Oliver brings him down. Right, so like for the Eagles, in the Eagles draw 007, Nick Sirianni got the draw. So Sirianni is their coach at the start. But I also have a method to establish coach firings and stuff like that. So if Sirianni gets fired in Philadelphia for whatever reason, the rest of the pool would then be subject to the random generator, and Peterson, for example, could be a coach. The only guys who are not eligible to be coaches, even if they took their teams to the postseason, are guys who are going to show up in this league as a player. So like Mike Ditka isn't in the Bears pool as a coach because Mike Ditka is a player in the project. If this goes on, hopefully, long enough, where Ditka plays, because he's in the opening pool for the Bears. If Ditka plays and retires, I will then let him be part of the coach pool for the Bears down the line. So 1st and 10, Chiefs moving the ball well here on this drive. DeBerg fires, a diving attempt, but unable to haul it in. Good effort there by Burford, but unable to come up with it. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the Miami 32, 6:34 left here in the opening quarter. Again, this Dolphins defense should be pretty good. They've got Zach Thomas and John Alfredall at linebacker. They've got Cameron Wake, who can put some pressure on at quarterback as he gets in there. Hits DeBerg, but he gets the pass off, and it's complete. DeBerg pays the price, but he finds Tyreek Hill down inside the 10. DeBerg scrapes himself up off the turf, but he gets it there. Hill with the grab. He's down at the 4. And the Chiefs are threatening here on their opening drive. Of course, as I was about to praise the Dolphins' secondary, they get picked apart there. They've got Lewis Oliver and Xavier Howard, who's a great interception guy. Terrell Buckley. Buckley could get beat deep, but he'll also come up with a bunch of picks because he's a ball hawk. So that's not a bad defensive prop there as Priest Holmes runs for no gain. Zach Thomas with the tackle there. It'll be 2nd and goal. Big set in here for the Chiefs. Kimball Anders at the fullback. Priest Holmes the halfback. And there's Holmes. Holmes tries to get up the middle, and there's nothing doing that time. The Dolphins have gobbled up Holmes on the run pretty well. Jeff Cross with the tackle there. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 4. So the Dolphins defense bearing down here in these first 2 sets inside the 5. DeBerg is now in the shotgun with an empty backfield. Sets, quick, to the outside, touchdown Chiefs. Chris Burford on the quick out route, makes the grab along the side of the end zone. DeBerg hits him quickly, and the Chiefs answer the Dolphins' field goal with completing their own drive for a touchdown. Pending the extra point, it'll be 7-3 Kansas City. Nice job by DeBerg on that drive. That's what they're going to need him to be. Harrison Booker comes on for the extra point. The kick is up and good. 10 plays, 78 yards, and 451 for Kansas City. That's about as good a drive as you can ask for out of the Chiefs. So a good answer there. Miami certainly had a feel like they should have come out with 7 the way they moved the ball on their opening drive. They settle for 3. The Chiefs don't make that same mistake. 4:31 left here in the first as the Chiefs prepare to kick it off. Taken deep in the end zone and down. And Tagovailoa will get back to work with the Dolphins from the 25-yard line. You see Brian Hartline, Jimmy Cefalo, decent enough receivers, but not exactly what you want your lead receiver core to be, especially if you're the Dolphins and you have guys like Duper and Clayton in your history. McDuffie as well. Morris tries to get to the outside. Nothing doing there. That play blows up. But Morris, who had a terrific opening drive, gets stuffed there by Derek Thomas. It'll be 2nd and 10. Derek Thomas, one of my all-time favorite players. Again, I'm not controlling either team here. Play action. Tagovailoa throws to the right-hand side. That's complete. Out across the 35. That'll be a 1st down. Norm Bullock out of the backfield. Little fullback flare picks up 12. Out to the 37. That'll move the chains. Changing things up at the line. Hartline goes up top. 2 tight end set here. Tagovailoa swings, throws it to the left-hand side. Mercury Morris, and Morris once again gets well acquainted with Derek Thomas. They're going to run that play. They probably don't want to run it to Derek Thomas's side. They've done it twice, and Thomas has planted Morris both times. 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins. Tagovailoa drops. He's going to swing it out wide again. That one was as a safety valve. He was looking down the field but didn't have anything. And Derek Thomas is basically shadowing Mercury Morris at this point. 4 tackles already for Thomas. Run that play to the other side. Although, again, that one was a safety valve play. Tagovailoa was looking downfield, but the coverage was solid. Chiefs have a good secondary in their own right. Jerry Robinson is back there. Deron Cherry as well. That pass incomplete. That's the first miss for Tagovailoa. Intended for Avonda Gadsden. And that'll bring up 4th and 12. And the Dolphins will have to punt. So after a very strong opening drive, the Dolphins fizzle out early here in the second drive. Punt taken at the 21. Out across the 30. They'll spot it at the 33, and the Chiefs will take control. They saw Carlos Carson and Tyreek Hill, the starting wide receivers for the Chiefs here in year one. Travis Kelce at tight end as well. So the Chiefs certainly have weapons. Empty backfield, there's 5 wide here on first down. Andy Reid showing a willingness to be aggressive here. DeBerg drops back, swings it over the middle, that's complete. Brought in by Kelce. Only pickup of 4 there. That's Kelce's first reception, brought down by Terrell Buckley. It'll be 2nd and 6. Shotgun again. Another quick pass. Hill makes the catch. He's popped, but he holds on. And that'll bring up 3rd and 2. Out to the 41. Brown with the tackle. So 3rd and 2 from the 41. DeBerg is in the shotgun again, as Andy Reid is wont to do. DeBerg rolls left. He's going to throw short. That's complete. Good hit there. First down. Burford with his second reception. His first, of course, the touchdown score. Tom Foley comes up for the tackle. That'll get things to midfield. That might be the end of the first quarter. We'll see if they try to run one more play before the gun sounds. 3, 2, 1, and they will let time expire. So we're through a quarter down here in Miami. The Chiefs with a 7-3 lead and driving again. And the Chiefs the favorites here. Winner of this game will face the winner of the Raiders and Broncos matchup, which will probably be later on this week. Hand off to Holmes. Holmes up the middle. He's got a little bit of room. Breaks that one down to the 39. 11-yard carry for Priest Holmes. And the chains will move. Xavier Howard with the tackle. And back into the shotgun they go. DeBerg in the pocket. Looks down the left-hand side. Broken up. Nice play there. He was looking for Tyreek Hill. But that pass is tipped away. It'll be 2nd and 10. DeBerg staying in the pocket, throws over the middle, that's complete. Burford down inside the 25. So DeBerg spreading it around. He's 8 of 11 for 102 yards and a touchdown so far. And this is the kind of performance they need out of Steve DeBerg. Just be efficient. Don't need the big plays, just don't make mistakes. Shotgun again. DeBerg is getting great protection. Offerdahl, a big hit there on Burford, but that's Burford's 4th reception of the game. Offerdahl plants him hard over the middle. First tackle for John Offerdahl. It will be 2nd and 5 from the Miami 17. DeBerg sets. Short pass there again, and Burford again on the short one. Tries to fight into the end zone. He's forced out of bounds. Down at the 1, but 5 catches for Chris Burford here in the first half. He has been able to get short and wide, and DeBerg has found him as his favorite target. Anders the lone setback. 1st and goal from the 1. Delay, and that play doesn't work at all. Anders brought down for a loss. Back at the 3, it'll be 2nd and goal. As Anders loses a pair on that one. Once again, it's Anders in the backfield. Tight set there for the Chiefs. DeBerg over the middle misses the target. He was looking for Tyreek Hill, threw it behind him. And it's incomplete, and it'll be 3rd and goal. The Dolphins forced Kansas City to 3rd and goal. Their first time down the field. But then the Chiefs scored the touchdown on 3rd. We'll see what happens this time around on 3rd and goal. DeBerg. Pass. In there. Complete. Touchdown. Al Dixon. You're looking a pass to a tight end there. You're assuming it's going to be Travis Kelce, but Al Dixon gets open. DeBerg hits him. It's a touchdown for the Chiefs, who, pending the extra point here, will extend their lead to 14-3. The offensive line for the Chiefs is giving Steve DeBerg all sorts of time at this point. The protection has been great. And it has just been an efficient offense. 11 plays, 67 yards, and almost 5.5 minutes for the Chiefs, who look very, very sharp here in this one. Yes, Clue. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs really do. They have, because they've got a few good guys everywhere. You know, I mean, Tyreek Hill was terrific. Carlos Carson was a very good wide receiver for them in the 80s. You've got Kelce. You've got Priest Holmes, who is a terrific running back. And on defense, I mean, they've got Willie Lanier. They've got Derek Thomas. They got Chris Jones, so they can put some pressure on the quarterback from the line. Dan Salimu is a good run-stopping tackle. And they got guys like Deron Cherry and Jerry Robinson in the secondary. So just they're really, really well balanced. They're kind of like a little bit of a lesser version in the context of this as the 49ers. I still think the 49ers might be the most balanced team in the league. But the 49ers have John Brody as their quarterback to start, which if you're not going to get Montana and Young, John Brody is probably your next best option there for the Niners. So they have an edge there at quarterback. But it's the very similar thing where it's just they're solid everywhere. And in a setup like this, a lot of the times what happens is teams have a couple of strengths, but they have a couple of clear weaknesses too. And there's really not a clear weakness for the 49ers. And DeBerg is really the only real question mark for the Chiefs. And again, Steve DeBerg was a fine, solid NFL quarterback. I mean, the guy was a quarterback for 17, 18 years. It just seemed like every time he got it asked of him to be the guy, the things that he wasn't great at kind of got exposed a little bit. Yes, Derek Thomas is the one who died. I want to say it was a car accident. But I don't remember exactly. But yes, Derek Thomas, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Derek Thomas was paralyzed in an accident and then ultimately died, if I'm remembering that correctly. But he was just, I remember that Monday night game he had against, I want to say it was the Raiders, and he had like 7 sacks. He was just otherworldly as a talented linebacker. Great player. So Berry comes up for the tackle to stop Morris after 2 there. Dolphins 2nd and 8 from their 39. Again, Tagovailoa's ratings gets dinged up a little bit because he, wasn't good his first year, his first couple years, and then he's only had 2 years since then, but this current year doesn't count because it's not completed. So he's probably, if you're a current Dolphins fan, you're probably going to think that Tagovailoa is probably a little bit underrated here. The Jaguars will end up with that same situation with Trevor Lawrence for exactly the same reason. So somebody ultimately, when I release it, downloads this set, they may say, hey, I want to upgrade Tagovailoa and Trevor Lawrence a bit. You kind of gave them a raw deal, which isn't really an intentional raw deal, which is by the nature of the way I've set up the project. It's basically Pro Football Reference does a thing called approximate value, which is basically their version of WAR for Baseball Reference. And I basically took a guy's 3 top seasons and used that as the basis for their ratings. So if you're a guy like Lawrence or Tagovailoa who are so new to the league that 1 or possibly 2 of those seasons really aren't that good, and the current season doesn't count yet, that's where you're going to kind of get them undercut a little bit. Tagovailoa throws wide. Oh, nice catch in traffic. That's a heck of a grab by Mike Gesicki. 15-yard pickup. That is not an easy play. Lanier with him, but Gesicki fights him off and then gets mobbed as he's dragged down to the turf. Andy Reid not happy with that one. So the Dolphins moving it. They're down to the Kansas City 29 here as we approach the 6-minute mark left in the first half. Tagovailoa handoff to Morris. Morris fights off one tackler, but now he is grabbed by seemingly the entire Chiefs front 7 and brought to the ground. It's a pickup of 1, 2nd and 9 now for the Dolphins. Sportsman Z, how are you, my friend? Cyro329 is here as well. Good to see you, Cyro. Right, okay, it was the blood clot, but injuries sustained in the car accident. Thanks, Cyro. I knew there was a car accident involved, but I remembered that the accident itself isn't what killed him. Clue asked, do you rate all the players in the pool at once or only those who make the league? I've only rated them, the guys who make the pool for the first year. And then basically that's going to set the standard by which the ratings will be achieved for the new guys who come into the league. So basically the basis is set from this initial pool, and then everybody else who comes in after that will be rated against that standard. So 4 minutes left in the half. Dolphins trying to punch one in here. Tagovailoa under pressure, and down he goes. Jerry Mays. Mays got half a sack earlier on. He gets to him again here. Loss of 6. It'll be 2nd and 16. In that I formation, though, so much somebody jumped. We'll see. Not sure if the Dolphins moved first there. And it is. It's a false start for Miami. Norm Dulich apparently losing track of the snap count. Loss of 5. That one hurts. Pushes them back to the 24. 2nd and 21 for Miami. And off Morris. Morris shuffles. Nicely done. Makes a little something out of nothing there. Down to the 17. It'll be 3rd and 14 for Miami as we approach the 3-minute mark. Haven't really seen the secondary backs for the Dolphins in this one. They've got Tony Nathan. They've got Ronnie Brown, who they could give the ball to a bit here. But so far they've been riding, although it looks like Brown is on the field now, though he doesn't carry it. Pass down there, close to the first down marker. Brian Hartline with the reception, and he gets to the mark. Good job there. Tagovailoa finding Hartline. It'll be 1st and goal at the 3. Tagovailoa rolls left, and Hartline got some separation there in front of Robinson. First tackle of the game for Robinson. We close in on the 2-minute warning. We'll see if the Dolphins try to call a play here. And they do. Tagovailoa drops back. Throws over the middle, complete, touchdown. Hartline again. It's a short 3-yard touchdown reception for Brian Hartline from Tua Tagovailoa, and the Dolphins come down the field and answer in a big way before halftime, pending the extra point. Assuming they'll go for the extra point here. It's a little early to go for 2. Hartline gets Deron Cherry spun around. You're not going to see that much. Deron Cherry, a fine defensive back. So it's 14-9. They are just going to take the extra point here. Yepremian with the kick. It's up and good. 15 plays, 83 yards in 9:21. That is an outstanding drive by the Miami Dolphins, whose offense, as we've mentioned, is the concern about this team heading into the season. So it's 14-10 Kansas City, a minute 58 left in the first half. I forget who their punter is, but their punter doing the kickoff. Taking a couple yards deep in the end zone. They're going to try to run it out, though, out across the 20. I believe that's J.J. Burden on the kick return. And the Chiefs will start from their 22. So we'll see how aggressive the Chiefs try to play. They have to run their offense. Both teams have 3 timeouts, so they can't just sit on it to go to halftime. So they'll run a 2-minute offense, at least at the start here, and see what that brings along with it. No, sorry, I haven't posted the gameplay settings as of yet, but I will do that. Tua is not better than Bob Greasy, but Greasy didn't get the draw. Neither did Dan Marino. But again, it's not just having a weak guy at quarterback, but you're also having the fact that their wide receiver core isn't good. So, I mean, just the Dolphins are really going to rely on Mercury Morris, and hopefully if Tagovailoa can get something going with Keith Jackson to try to get this offense going. I think their defense is going to be okay, but I just think their defense is going to be on the field an awful lot. So closing in on a minute left here in the first half, 14-10 Kansas City. DeBerg in the shotgun. Drops back again, getting great protection. He finds Tyreek Hill over the middle. He'll get out close to midfield. Brought down at the 49. There's a timeout called there with 56 seconds left. So now we'll see how aggressively the Chiefs try to pursue this. Are they just going to try to get into a field goal range for Harrison Butker, or are they going to try to get it down the field? Trips up top. Kelsey set off a bit from the line on the downside. DeBerg hits Priest Holmes out of the backfield down inside the 45. DeBerg 15 of 19. Pair of touchdowns, 162 here in the first half. That is about as efficient as it gets. They haven't gone deep down the field, but DeBerg has managed this game beautifully so far on 2 lengthy Kansas City drives. Clock ticking, 30 seconds left. Over the middle. Complete. That's Carlos Carson down inside the 30. Another timeout call. I believe that's Carson's first reception. His second reception of the game. And Andy Reid's offense is humming at this point. DeBerg making all the right decisions. He's not trying to force anything. He has weapons at his disposal. You just need him to play a disciplined game if you're Kansas City. Pass over the middle. That one was in traffic. That was a risky one, but he threads the needle to Carson. Down inside, 20 seconds. 15. They do have one timeout left. We're going to see if they run one more play before the field goal. Oh, and they are. Oh, my goodness. That's terrible. Nope. They were going to, and then they decided no. I was going to say that would be horrible clock management. So far, on the whole, I have found the AI's clock management to be solid. It's made a couple of mistakes, particularly the timing of a game-winning field goal attempt. You saw that in the Eagles-Cowboys game, where the Cowboys had control. They could have let the clock run down to 1 second before the timeout. They call the timeout with 5 seconds left. They kick the field goal as Butker nails this one to get the Chiefs' lead back up to 7. So the Cowboys drive down. They take the lead with a field goal with like 2 seconds left, but they have to do the kickoff. And then Timmy Brown returns the kickoff back for a game-winning touchdown on the next play. And realistically, there's no reason for Dallas to have left 5 seconds on the clock there because they were in control of the clock with the clock going. So you really should have let that clock go down to like 2 seconds. And then you're going to kind of have the same situation here where, you know, the Chiefs should have just been able to let that be a last-second field goal. So like they managed it right in calling the timeout there, but they called the timeout a couple of seconds too early. I don't know if that's going to be a big enough issue that I'm going to worry about me trying to jump into the game, and because then I may get stuck having to handle the kicks, the field goal myself, and I really don't want to do that. But we'll see how that plays out. So if you look at the yardage, it's been pretty dominant there, and at least in terms of passing yards. But Mercury Morris, a couple of big runs for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are in this game. 17-10 Kansas City as we head to the half here in Miami. Let me see. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. Yeah, I'll get to those settings, Cyril. One of the things that I've done, my settings are probably you're going to have to tweak them because they kind of work with the way that I do ratings, because I use very broad scope ratings. So you're going to see some guys at the bottom end of this Legends pool with, you know, certain rate, not the essential ones, not like speed or anything like that, but things down in like the 40s and 50s that you won't see in the default ratings. But my stance, and I've talked about this frequently before, is games in general, they make all the players too similar. So I've stretched those out, and then I stretch out the sliders a bit as well. And I kind of feel like it just makes the players feel a bit differently, and your standout players really play like standout players. And you know, you have games where it's like, oh my God, we have to rate everybody as an 80 plus. Well, then at that point, what you haven't really created any differentiation between the players. I'll see the last position that I did in its entirety in entering the ratings was tight ends, and you'll see tight ends in this game with like spin move ratings of like 60 and 70. I'm like, these guys never pulled a spin move in their life. Why are you giving them a 70 for a move that they never do? Because like you're going to hurt somebody's ego by rating it low. It just, and stuff like that. It's like, oh well, this guy is this rating. We want him to get to this rating overall. I hate overall ratings. I think overall ratings shouldn't even happen because I think they're very deceptive. Because then you get in your head that, oh, this guy should be a 90. Well, now if your ratings mechanism says, well, if you give this guy who's not really good at this one thing a 50 in that, that's going to pull him down from the 90 that you have in your head that you want to give him. So you overrate him in that category just to get you to that 90 overall. And at that point, you're just kind of manipulating things. So I generally don't like overall ratings anyway. I always tell people to kind of, especially with my stuff, kind of ignore them a little bit, because I think that the way those ratings get concocted is often not really a good way to judge a player. And I've felt like that for quite a while. You know, just because a player is a good player doesn't mean he's good at everything. So, don't fudge ratings to get him to this mythical overall figure in your head. Just rate him at a skill the way he should be rated at that skill. So we're just underway here in the third quarter. 17-10 Kansas City. Steve DeBerg has been masterful in running Andy Reid's offense to this point. DeBerg over the middle, complete. Oh, it almost looked like Hill put that ball on the ground, but he gets control of it. Fifth reception for Tyreek Hill. Steve DeBerg is now 20 of 25. They have not asked him to make the deep pass. They have just kept him with an efficient offense. Oh, Kimball Anders. I don't know why I keep on saying Kimball Anders there. Priest Holmes runs into his own guy, but bounces off anyway and has a nice gain to show for it. Holmes has been bottled up a bit in this one. He's got 8 carries for 29 yards to this point. But Kansas City moving the ball well down the field again, down to the Miami 14. Drops back to pass, complete there to Tyreek Hill. That's a pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Andy Reid's offense throwing the ball plenty, but they know that they have Priest Holmes to lean on if they so desire. But right now, there's no reason for them to stop passing it. So, of course, they run it, and here's Priest Holmes who gets hammered. Brought down there. It'll be 3rd and 1. Ben Herter could break the tackle. 3rd and 1 from the 5. 10.5 minutes left here in the third quarter. The Chiefs are the more talented team. The Dolphins have hung in there, though. Shotgun there. Pass. That's picked off. Picked off by Zach Thomas. Thomas intercepts DeBerg, and that's the kind of mistake we were talking about. An absolute drive killer down inside the 5, but DeBerg's pass is intercepted by Zach Thomas, who steps in and picks that one off. He was looking for Carlos Carson in the end zone, and he lost track of Thomas. Thomas steps in for the interception, and that's a huge, huge play potentially in this game. DeBerg had been virtually perfect to this point. But Thomas with the pick, and now Miami will start from their own 21, down by a touchdown. The Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye. Christian Okoye was great, man. He was fun to watch. Morris brought down there. Good tackle on that one, loss of a yard. Gary Spanny, his first tackle in the game, at least his first solo tackle. Quinn's Toy Carousel, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for checking in. That's why ZT isn't can't. Yep. Zach Thomas is a fine player. Up the middle, and Lanier obliterates Mercury Morris. Good grief. Willie Lanier absolutely destroys Mercury Morris for no gain there, and it's 3rd and 11. Tagovailoa drops, looks to the left-hand side. Keith Jackson complete along the sideline. It's a first down for the Dolphins on the conversion, and Chris Jones is going to the sideline looking for a little help for Kansas City. That's the last thing the Chiefs want to see. But a good conversion there on 3rd down as Tagovailoa finds Keith Jackson. Handoff. Wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Morris, 16 carries for 86 yards to this point. Spanny and an assortment of teammates there with the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 11. I hate that Madden took out the old pro set offense, but the split backs in the backfield. So if a team ran that, the closest thing I can do is there's a thing called strong, and basically a strong eye and a weak eye, where the fullback is leaned to one side. that's the closest I can get because they no longer have the pro set offense in the game, which is just completely idiotic. Again, I maintain that these teams create all these features, like companies create these features for player creation and roster editing and all that stuff, but they don't really talk to people who do the work to see how it should be done. As far as like what do you need to see out of little stuff, like, so I've mentioned before, like MLB The Show, I can create the faces in the game because you can adjust the cheek depth and the lips and the chin and the nose and all that kind of stuff. EA doesn't do that. EA just gives you these pre-made template faces that you have to use and you can't adjust. There is not one white player in the game who just has a mustache. Those guys were abundant in the 70s and 80s. And now mustaches are coming back too. So, as there's a sack, as Dan Saliamua wraps up Tua Tagovailoa, third sack for the Chiefs. In this one, Miami has not gotten to the bird yet. So Saliamua breaks through, brings them back near the 40. And that's going to force the Dolphins into a punting position. Like stuff like that. Like, I don't expect them to tailor make things to the way I do things because I do things different than most people do, honestly, and I'm aware of that. But there's lots of guys who create rosters of some sort of history. And so why would you limit those guys? And again, I just feel like that's something where you don't talk to the people who do the projects that you're trying to give them the tools to do. But I digress. That's just a point of frustration for me. Again, there's stupid things. Like, you've got all these current players. You've got their faces in the game. They're scanned in and all that kind of stuff. So why can't I use those faces on a custom player if I want to? You've already got them in the game. Why are you limiting? The coach faces. There's like 8 coach faces that I'm going to be able to assign. So the coaches are virtually never going. There's nobody who I'm going to be able to make who's going to look like Tom Landry or Bill Parcells or any of those guys. Why not give me at least all of the, as Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill is gone. Forget that. Steve DeBerg on the corner route hits Hill, and the Chiefs strike in a big way. I'll get back to my rant in a moment. Hill goes in for the touchdown, and the Chiefs, after stopping the Dolphins, strike in a big way here. Hill beats his man and is off to the races. You get Tyreek Hill into the open field like that, that is pretty much a knockout blow. And pending the extra point, it'll be 24-10, Kansas City. Hey, Tex, I appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. Quinn's Toy Carousel. William Perry is in the league, but no, he will not be a fullback. He's just a defensive lineman. You know what? If I could assign the same number, because you can't assign 2 positions, if I could assign... Actually, you know what? I bet on the depth chart. I got to see that. It might let me do it. I think it'll only let me... Because I know you can line up like a tight end and put him on the depth chart as a fullback. I actually have to see that with Fridge. I actually didn't check that. I suppose I could. I just don't know if it'll let you put a defensive player into an offensive position. I don't know, but I'll give that a look after this, because that would be funny to do that. I would just worry that the game would overuse it. But yeah, if I could put him in there as an option, that'd be worth doing. One of the frustrating things about the testing here is there's a degree of testing that I can't do until I'm in franchise mode. I can set a general depth chart for the roster now, but I can't set... You can set depth charts by formation. So, like, if you're in... This isn't how they would play it, but for example, if the Chiefs wanted to set Priest Holmes as their halfback in the I formation, but bring in Christian Okoye as their lone setback in a single back formation. In franchise mode, you can set lineups to be like that. You can't do that until you get into franchise mode, though. And Tagovailoa is picked off there by Jerry Robinson. First pick thrown by Tua. Let's keep on saying Jerry Robinson. Jerry Robinson is a different player. Johnny Robinson with the interception here. Jerry Robinson was a linebacker, if I remember correctly, and not for the Chiefs. So there's Tyreek Hill, 7 catches, 156 yards, and a touchdown for him on the day. And the Chiefs, up 24-10 here, are going to try to drop the hammer now on the Dolphins. Terrific field position inside the Miami 30. The Dolphins are outmanned here. They had to play a pretty much flawless game. And now, after throwing the pick by Tagovailoa, it all seems like it might fall apart on them. Short pass there to Kelsey, pick up a 5. It's 2nd and 5. Williams with the tackle. As we're down inside 3.5, left in quarter number 3. 354 yards for the Chiefs, 182 for the Dolphins. DeBerg over the middle, complete. Priest Holmes out of the backfield near the marker. He has enough to move the chains. 3rd catch of the game for Holmes. Zach Thomas with the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 18. Those tackle figures get messed up a bit in that chart, and I don't know why, in that graphic, because then you look at the end of the game and players have the right. Now, I don't remember who it was, but there was somebody like that I noticed that about in the last game. It said he had like 6 tackles, and then you looked after the game and he had like 13. Pass there for Holmes, 9-yard pickup. So DeBerg trying to rebound from throwing the pick in the red zone earlier on. A touchdown to Hill. A good way for him to shake that off, and now he's going to look to convert down deep in Miami territory again. There's once again Holmes out on the sideline. He's forced out of bounds. DeBerg 27 of 33. And he is loving this Andy Reid offense at the moment. He's only been asked to throw the ball downfield once, and he did it successfully, hitting Tyreek Hill. Other than that, it's just been short passes over the middle, quick outs, passes out of the backfield. Looks for Hill in the end zone there. That one's incomplete. It'll be 2nd and goal. Handoff. Holmes tries to fight his way through. Foley stands him up. Good tackle there by Foley. Brings Holmes down. It's 3rd and goal from the 2. As we're down inside a minute left in quarter number 3. DeBerg, pass into the end zone, touchdown. Travis Kelce reels it in on the short strike from DeBerg, his 4th touchdown pass of the game. And Kelce is on the board, and the Chiefs have opened it up now. With the extra point, this would be a 31-10 lead for Kansas City. Ended up with a defensive lineman in coverage on Travis Kelce there, and that is not ideal. And Andy Reid, very happy with Steve DeBerg's play in this one. He threw the pick earlier down in the red zone. Other than that, DeBerg has been pretty much flawless. 7 plays, 28 yards. They make Tagovailoa pay for his interception. And it's 31-10 Kansas City. First 3 games we've shown here of this preseason tournament, all tight affairs. This one on the verge of becoming a blowout. Again, the winner of this game will face the winner of the Raiders and Broncos. The next game I will have here on the channel will be on the NFC side of the bracket, the 49ers and the Vikings. I have to generate those playbooks. So that may take me a couple of days, but hopefully Friday or this weekend I will have that game up here on the channel. If you had not seen it, I did a New Year's stream about plans for 2024 here for the Legend Sports Universe. I hope you will check that out if you have not as of yet. Not just about the football project, but the baseball project, year 3 of the FSBL, the return of hockey and basketball to the channel, and some other odds and ends. Hand off there, Mercury Morris, another good run. That'll put Morris over the 100-yard mark in this one. 19 carries for 115 yards for Mercury Morris. He's out to the 48. The play that might very well bring us to the end of this third quarter. Time ticks away, and we're through 3. So the Chiefs are in full control here, 31-10 as we head to the 4th. Steve DeBerg shouting down the naysayers so far in this one. The Dolphins have any hope, they've got to convert on this drive. Tagovailoa over the middle, complete. And that's Jimmy Cephalo. His first reception of the game, that's an 8-yard pickup. Down to the 40, it's 2nd and 2. Oh, that's good to know, Quinn. I'll give that. I will certainly give that a look. Like I said, I'll do it. If I can set Fridge up to be a fullback for the Bears, I wouldn't make him the primary, obviously. Especially because the Bears actually got a draw where it's 3 fullbacks. And he tries to roll to the right, and he rolls right into Jerry Mays. Mays, 2nd sack of the game. I actually think he's got 2.5. I think he had a half a sack earlier on as well. They roll away from Derek Thomas on that right side every time. Nobody wants to go towards DT. And Jerry Mays, more than happy to pick up the scraps. 3rd and 11 from the 49. Shotgun formation, Tagovailoa. Now he's going to roll to the right in pursuit, Willie Lanier, and Tagovailoa just throws it away. 2 is 14 of 17 in this game. It hasn't felt like that. It's all been short yardage, dink and dunk kind of stuff. And the interception certainly hurt. But they haven't gotten the big play when they've needed to. Kansas City has just chewed up tons of clock when they've had the ball. 4th and 11, the Dolphins have to go for it here. You're down 21. Tagovailoa under pressure again. He's hit as he throws. And it's incomplete. He tried to find Keith Jackson over the middle, but Jackson was popped as the ball arrived. He's unable to hold on. And the Chiefs will take over around midfield. Up 31-10, 13-29 left in the game. Berg in the shotgun. Handoff Holmes up the middle. Bowls his way through, breaks one tackle, is wrapped up. Good strong run, though, by Priest Holmes. He picks up 5.
He was tackled at the 46-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
Kansas City has not done much on the ground. The air attack has worked, so they've kept it up. Holmes tries to get to the outside. He finds the marker. And now you might see Priest Holmes start to grind things out here. Keep the clock running.
First down, Chiefs.
Pickup of 6. Chains will move. So the current status of the project, 16 teams, the 16 in the tournament, are completely done. Ratings are established and have been entered for all the quarterbacks, all the running backs, all the wide receivers, and all the tight ends for the remaining 16 teams as well. I have also established the ratings for all of the offensive linemen. So the next step in the process is to add all the offensive linemen into the game. Once that is done, then instead of going by position, I'm going to go by team the rest of the way. So I'm going to do the defense for one team and then the defense for the next team. Pass there to the right-hand side. Burford close to the goal line. That was very close to being the 5th touchdown strike for Steve DeBerg. Listen, the Chiefs aren't going to get this out of Steve DeBerg every game. Obviously, he's not that quarterback, and he's not rated to that point. But if you can get anything in this realm from Steve DeBerg, the Chiefs are going to be a very formidable force in the AFC. So, like, the first team of the next 16 I have listed in the charts is the Cardinals. And DeBerg, there's TD number 5. Carlos Carson gets in on the act. It's a short strike there, DeBerg to Carson, and the Chiefs have turned this into a rout. 37-10, Kansas City. That is just a virtuoso performance here by the Kansas City Chiefs. Harrison Butker in for the extra point. Puts it through. 5 plays, 51 yards, and 246. So, like, I'll do all the defensive guys and the kicker and punter for the Cardinals. And then I'll do all the defensive guys and the kicker and punter for, I'm trying to remember who the second team on that list is. I think it's the Falcons. And then I'll just go right down the line. So, like, after the offensive linemen are done, it's been a while since I've been posting rosters for each of the franchises. I'm going to start being able to get through the franchises in a bit quicker order as we come down the home stretch of finishing this project. Development and the roster and the league are expected to start by the end of January. And year 3 of the Franchise Stars Baseball League will also be running by the end of January as well. I've started compiling the ratings for the rookies in that project as well. So Tagovailoa is going to try to at least get this to respectability. Short pass there, Jimmy Cephalo, pick up of 8. Everything's been short. Tagovailoa's completion percentage is terrific, but they're not really going anywhere. We'll approach the 10-minute mark left in the game. Of course, Tagovailoa has also been sacked now 4 times, if I recall. Puts it down. Here's to take it off himself. He slides to avoid the hit. Gets the first down, moves the chains. He's out to the 40. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Dolphins. Text says, waiting for the Vikings to play with the perfect people. That's going to be the next broadcast. The next broadcast is 49ers Vikings. I have to build their playbooks. But that'll be the next game broadcast for this on the channel. Short pass there, Hartline over the middle, down into Kansas City territory. Basically, Tagovailoa is 16 of 20, but only for 124. A touchdown and an interception. Albert Lewis with the tackle there. Another fine defensive back. I mean, the Chiefs really do they got a very, very good draw. I mean, obviously the Chiefs have a great player pool anyway. Their 130 player pool is excellent. But they got a very, very good opening 50 for this league. Swung to the left, and that was basically just setting Tony Nathan up to be crushed. Gary Barbaro with the tackle. It's the first time we've called Tony Nathan's number. And he'd rather we haven't there. Loss of 5 on the dump-off. It's 2nd and 15. And somebody moved. There haven't been many penalties in this game. Here's a false start by the Dolphins. And even 8 minutes left in the game.
Still 2nd down.
Shotgun. Tua. Tua rolls out to the right. Mays almost got him again. Jerry Mays putting all sorts of pressure on. Mays was a fine defensive lineman. I really probably undersold him during the talking about the players on this Kansas City defense. I don't even think I mentioned him initially, but Jerry Mays was a very, very good player. Shotgun, Tagovailoa. Back in the pocket. Drops. Throws. Way down the field, complete. A diving, sprawling grab from Oronde Gadsden. Down to the Kansas City 31. Only the second catch of the game for Gadsden. Again, Tua also just doesn't have a lot of great weapons at the receiver spot, but that's a heck of a grab by Gadsden. Hand off Mercury Morris, and Derek Thomas blows him up in the backfield. Down inside 7 minutes, 2nd and 10 for the Dolphins from the Kansas City 31. Handoff, Morris jukes out away from one man, but Willie Lanier gobbles him up. 21 carries for 115 yards for Mercury Morris. He's done his part in this one. But the Dolphins have just not been able to keep their offense on the field. Some overall numbers are going to look fine, but you have to look a little bit closer at it. Shotgun there, Tagovailoa in the pocket. Has some space, he's going to keep it and go. Down inside the 20, inside the 15, down inside the 10, and Tagovailoa doesn't give himself up. Tries to fight for the extra yardage. That's a nice run by Tua there. It's 1st and goal down at the Kansas City 7. Clock continues to tick away. I formation. Tagovailoa looks, rolls, and there's Derek Thomas, and see you later. That was just a matter of time. Derek Thomas gets into the backfield. It's the 5th sack for Kansas City. Thomas blows past Richmond Webb there. And Tagovailoa hits the deck. The Dolphins didn't get to Steve DeBerg at all. DeBerg was popped once of significance, and he completed that pass anyway. That was early on the opening drive. Handoff. Morris down inside the 10. Bob Kuchenberg looks like he's in a bit of pain. He's going to come out of this game for Miami. We approach the 4-minute mark. Dolphins approaching the end zone. They'll see if they can do anything here. 3rd and goal. Just trying to make this game a little bit more respectable. Tight set here. Tagovailoa drops back. In the pocket, good protection this time. And now he's got a little bit of happy feet. He's trying to roll out there anyway, and there was no pressure coming towards Tua there. And he's just kind of in the panic zone there, and that's what his line is telling him. They're saying, we had you protected. He starts to roll out of the pocket there and made that a harder play than it needs to be. Throws it away, and it's going to be 4th and goal. They'll go for the touchdown because down 28, why not? Drops back, and again. Moves, steps back in the pocket, looks for the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown. Nice grab. Brian Hartline, his 2nd touchdown reception for the Dolphins. Wouldn't be posing down 20 points, but this is the age we live in. But Tagovailoa finds Hartline in the corner. Yepremian comes on for the extra point, trying to make the score a little bit more respectable. 13 plays, 80 yards, and 6:33 for the Dolphins. And it's now a 38-17 deficit. 4:10 remaining in the game. Onside kick here would probably be a bit overly ambitious, but they'll do it anyway. Lined up for the kick, and there it goes. Oh, it's kicking around a bit, and it looks like the Dolphins recovered. And they do. So Miami converts the onside kick, and they'll take over from the Chiefs' 49. Again, it's a lot of miles of bad road ahead of the Dolphins here, and not a lot of time to do it. Tagovailoa rolls left, throws. He throws that one out of bounds. It's incomplete. Second and 10 from the 49. Andy Reid wants his Chiefs defense to lock this game down. Shotgun there. Tua over the middle. Complete. Hartline with the reception down to the 42. Actually spotted at the 41. It'll be 3rd and 2. That's the 5th reception for Hartline. 2 of them have been for scores. Back in the I formation. Cross back, swings it to the left, complete along the sideline. Hartline again, down to the 20. Hartline getting a little bit over-enthusiastic again with the 21-point deficit. He's thinking about his contract, I guess. I formation here, 3.5 minutes left in the game. They go with a handoff, and Morris is hammered. Gary Spanny, the first man to hit him. Clock ticking. Both teams have all 3 timeouts in a 21-point game. I'm not sure anybody will end up using any of them. But the Dolphins, if the Dolphins can get themselves into the end zone here, they're at least going to give themselves the illusion of hope. Tua steps up. He's going to keep it. Did this on the last drive, too. This time he's brought down by Lanier. Shy of the marker. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 10 as we get inside the 3-minute mark. Yeah, Tex, like I said, that game will probably happen on Friday. It's just a matter of how quick I can get the playbooks created. But I've kind of honed that process a bit now. So the playbook creation is going a bit quicker. The Dolphins playbook happened pretty quickly. There's another stupid EA graphic. Why show the graphic as though the field goal team is coming on when there's no chance that the field goal unit is what's coming on now? That's just lazy stuff from EA. For the end zone, touchdown! Keith Jackson pulls it in, and the Dolphins draw within 2 touchdowns. I don't know if you'd ever see Keith Jackson dance like that, but I digress. It's better than when they do it to the old-time guys. You got, Lance Allworth dancing like that and stuff. But, Max McGee doing the running man in the end zone. But Tagovailoa now has 3 touchdown passes on the game. This is now a 38-24 game. 2:34 left, and the Dolphins, as our cameraman has a seizure there in the end zone. Yeah. The Dolphins will try for another onside kick here. They've at least succeeded in making this game interesting. It was 38-10. There's the kick, and this time it's fielded by Kansas City. And the Chiefs should be able to ice things from here. Again, the Dolphins do have all 3 of their timeouts, so Kansas City will have to run their offense here. But barring something incredibly stupid, the Chiefs should be in the comfort zone at this point. Actually, a little bit surprised the Berg is in a shotgun here. Man in motion. It's a handoff, though. Priest Holmes. Holmes finds a gap, goes off tackle on a delay, and has a first down to the Miami 25. Lewis Oliver steps up for the hit. That'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. 38-24, Kansas City here at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Now they've got things bunched up. Not going to take a knee as of yet, but they should keep it on the ground. Here's Holmes again, wrapped up in the backfield. Dolphins will use a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining. Thank all you guys for tuning in to the broadcast today. Greatly appreciate it. Kindly hit that like button if you have not as of yet. If you have not subscribed as of yet, I hope you will consider doing so. Handoff. Holmes down inside the 20, close to the marker. And a second effort has him close. They'll call it 3rd and inches. Miami stops the clock again, using their second timeout. In the shotgun. Given the notion that they're going to pass, they do run it though. Holmes has the first down there. And that will ice this one. Last timeout for the Dolphins. Minute 47 left on the clock. First and 10 from the 12. Chiefs will go into the victory formation here. Takes the knee. And time will tick away. They'll have to bang that out a couple more times. This is another, and they did this in one of the other games too. They're still going to run the ball, but why come out of the victory formation here? There's not really any reason to. It's fine, but handoff there to Holmes. Down to the 10. As long as they don't throw the ball in this spot, it's acceptable. But they really should be in the victory formation. Now they'll probably go back to the victory formation here. Take the knee one final time from the Miami 10. And that'll wrap it up. DeBerg takes the knee. And that should conclude things here in Miami. I actually have seen them go and then kick the field goal, even though there's only like 15 seconds left before. We'll see if they do that again. They really shouldn't, though. Yep, they bring the field goal unit on. Can you imagine? Oh, my God, they'd have such a tantrum. That's silly stuff. It doesn't matter in the outcome of the game, but it's again, just a silly EA management kind of thing, where if you get the 4th down in that spot, they're going to go and kick the field goal. But at the end of the day, regardless, it's a dominant performance by the Kansas City Chiefs. They got a little lackluster once the game got out of hand, but it's a comfortable 41-24 win for Kansas City. And Steve DeBerg, with an exceptional performance in this one. That's the highest tandem of completion percentages we've seen so far. Again, I'm kind of trying to get to late 80s, early 90s stats in this one, in the FSFL. So I want like your top passers. Like if you get into the 60s in completion percentage, you're at the top of the league. Not like now where everybody completes 60%, in real football. But we haven't seen something like that out of the Berg. I mean, 5 touchdown passes. The Chiefs really just were once they got rolling, they were in dominant fashion in this game. But Tua ultimately ends up 22 of 30, 3 touchdowns. Both quarterbacks threw a pick. But Tua actually ended up having a more respectable game than I was expecting him to have. But the story here is Steve DeBerg. If DeBerg can give the Chiefs anything in this realm, the Chiefs are going to have a successful season. Nice job there by Mercury Morris. in the losing effort, 23 for 124. Priest Holmes, a very solid 17 for 70. On the receiving end, Tyreek Hill, a big game, 8 for 164. Chris Burford, 8 for 96 and a touchdown. Brian Hartline caught a pair of touchdowns for Kansas City. And on the defensive front, Willie Lanier led everyone in tackles with 11. Lewis Oliver and Eric Berry each had 10. Sacks, Jerry Mays, a big game, 2.5 sacks for him. Sally Mua, Derek Thomas had a sack. Chris Jones had half a sack. So the Chiefs got to Tagovailoa 5 times. The Dolphins didn't get to DeBerg at all. A fantastic job by the Chiefs offensive line. So that will do it. I appreciate you guys spending some of your Wednesday afternoon here with me. Tex Ags, Quinn's Toy Carousel, Cyro329, our good friend, the iconic Big Clue, was in the house as well. And 007 was here at the beginning of the broadcast. Good to see him as well. And thanks for anyone who watched, even if you did not chat. It's much appreciated. Again, bang that like button if you haven't as of yet. Check the page for the new Discord for the Legend Sports Universe. If you are not as of yet a member, actually give me 1 second and I will drop that into the chat here. I think pretty much everybody in here is in the Discord as of now, but we will drop it one more time just in case. Again, I'll be doing a lot of project updates and stat dumps and news about the news about all the projects into that Discord. So hopefully I will see you there. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Be good to each other, and we'll talk soon. The Chiefs advance in the FSFL preseason tournament.